life is just such a beautiful thing. And I know that sounds so silly and like so woo-woo, whatever. But it's true. Like, if you don't like something in your life, or you just like in general are like unhappy, or you feel lost, confused, you're like, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. This isn't where I'm supposed to be. I'm not enjoying every single day. And like, not every day is going to be a walk in the park, beautiful, sunshine, rainbow, magical unicorn day. You are listening to Phone Eats First. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Phone Eats First, a podcast about romanticizing life and finding inspiration inside and outside of the kitchen. My name is Corey May, Corey in the Kitchen, Corey Wilson. Have you know me? Have you found me? Hi, hello. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope this catches you in a great moment, or maybe a not so great moment, and now you're excited to listen to this podcast, go on a nice little walk or a car ride or wherever you are. I hope you're just able to enjoy the day, and at whatever moment you find this podcast, just enjoy this time. You are letting me into your life and your ears and your head, and I am so grateful for that, and it's crazy to think about, and so I'm honored to be in your ears right now. Let's enjoy this podcast together. So, as you know, maybe you don't know. If you're new here, hi. Let me catch you up. So, episode 15 of mine, this is now episode 28. Episode 15 is the New Year's Eve episode full of my 2024 intentions. And I'll touch on why they're called intentions, not resolutions, after I get through the weekly report. But I loved that episode. I loved everything about it, from making it to recording it to editing it to listening to it. And I actually just listened to it again on my walk just now. And I literally posted a story on my Instagram after listening to it saying, I have a case of imposter syndrome, because I'm like, who recorded this? It's not me. That is not Corey. I don't know when I had those thoughts or was able to make such fluid conversation and thought and inspirational sentences. I don't know where they came from, but it worked, and I felt inspired after listening to it. And so, as you know, if you're in the business corporate world, or, you know, just a human on this planet, the year is divided into quarters. And so we are now in Q2 of the year, which it's all about like finance terms and all that jazz, but we're going to apply Q2 to our intentions as well. And so I'm just going to use this as a time to reflect on the intentions that I listed out for myself in January of this year, or technically the end of December of 2023, and just kind of check in with myself, see where I am, what maybe isn't so important now, or what is more important now, or just kind of, see, I might have a few things on the list that I'm like, wait, I forgot about that. Like, I literally didn't know that was on there. And I either want to put my energy towards it now, or maybe I'm just going to be like, yeah, maybe in 2025. But before we get into that, let's get into the weekly report. So our reading, shocker, I'm still reading By a Thread by Lucy Score, but I promise I'm almost done. And I got a lot of reading done on my trip recently on the plane, and it's really good. I'm digging it. I mean, like I told you in like the last 38 episodes, because it's taken me so long to finish this book. It's not my favorite book I've ever read, and I'm honestly more excited to finish this book because it means I get to read the next one, which I have A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is all over the book world right now, and I'm interested to see how I like it because it's a fantasy book. So we'll check in next week, because my goal is to finish By a Thread this weekend. Okay, eating. This is a little interesting one. I am going to try and not eat dairy or eggs, which I am not doing good at the moment because I eat yogurt every day in my smoothie, and I also, sprinkle a cheese here and there. Eggs I can do without, but I mean, if you listen to like my last 2 podcast episodes, I'm like, oh, I love egg toast, which I do. I do love egg toast. But the last 2 weeks, my acne has it spiked a lot, and then I got my period, and then my face is currently kind of the best it's looked in a while, and knock on wood, I'm very happy about it. And this is a little TMI, like if you are a male or you just don't care, skip forward, whatever. But I'm sharing this with you guys because I know so many people struggle with hormonal acne, and we're literally 25 years old. We're not 16 anymore. Like, why is this happening to us? So I just want to share my experience because I know a lot of you guys are going through it. So let's all just be honest about it. And if you find something that works, let me know. If I find something that works, I'll let you know. But moral of the story of saying all of this is the last 2 weeks I've been out of town, and I was like, wait, I'm not going to eat eggs or much dairy. Let's see what happens. And is this it? I don't know. It's definitely a lot of factors going on at once, but we're going to kind of continue this. So I'll check back in with you guys in like a month here. Okay, P plan. I am going to the beach this weekend to see my family and to see the ocean and the sand and have a warm, sunny, and 75 day. And I could not be more excited. I haven't been to the beach since, actually, my mom and I realized this week I haven't seen her since New Year's Eve, which is literally the day after I recorded this episode, ironically. So I'm really excited to see my family and my nieces and have the first real beach day of the year. All right. O, obsession. I'm currently obsessed with music at the moment, which sounds kind of silly. Like, it's like, duh, Corey, why would you not be obsessed with music? But I kind of go back and forth between music kicks and podcast kicks. And while I always love and have and will love podcasts, just right now, music is doing it for me. Like, you know how you sometimes go through phases of like, I'm not really liking my playlist. I'm not really liking my favorite artist or my favorite songs. I don't know. Right now, music is just popping off. I found a few good songs recently. I'll plug one that I'm like literally obsessed with at the moment. It's the catchiest thing I've listened to in a long time. It is, let's see. It's Slow It Down by Benson Boone, which Benson Boone has that like famous TikTok song. I'm not going to sing it, don't worry. But I don't know. Then this one came up on my Spotify daylist, which I also, maybe daylist is my obsession. I love the little daylist Spotify playlist that it makes for you. Like mine right now is Indie Chill Garage Band Evening, but mine this week was Girl Dinner Tuesday, which I thought was pretty funny. So Spotify just knows me well. They can have all of my data to give me the best music ever. Anyway, R, recipe. This week I made a soyaki beef bowl. It's been a few weeks since I've said the word soyaki. Bennett and Charlie, here we go. Soyaki, soyaki, soyaki. Take a shot for every time I say soyaki. But this is a very simple dinner and really easy to make. Stores really well. I do some grated ginger, garlic, chopped up onion, saute that, cook ground beef, and then simultaneously cook some rice, and then literally just use the Trader Joe's edamame that you throw in the microwave. And then I buy shredded carrots, and I got cucumbers, chopped them up and toss them in some sesame oil, rice vinegar, salt, and then everything but the bagel seasoning. So like a little vinegary cucumber salad. And it's really good, really easy, great for lunch, dinner, whatever you want. And it's filling, so it'd be good with avocado, sriracha. Okay, and last part of weekly report is tea treat, which for me this week has been getting enough sleep. And this isn't by no means a treat. This is a mandatory thing, especially for me. I love sleep. I mean, really my treat was just going to be my bed, but I think I've talked about my bed enough. You guys know how much I love my bed and how comfortable it is. So we're just going to go with the sleep side of things. I've been on the West Coast for 2 weeks, so my sleep schedule is really off and I need to get back on my schedule. But at the same time, like I need sleep. And so letting myself sleep in, like this week, I've been setting my alarm for 7:30, which is at least an hour later than I normally wake up or try to wake up. And so to me, it kind of feels like a treat, even though, like I just said, shouldn't be. But I mean, it's like a reward. Okay, and that is the weekly report. Now we are going to get into my Q2 2024 intentions. Also, don't mind Callie. She is like really busy right now. She's been playing with her ball. She's drinking a lot of water. She's hydrating. She is really just slaying the day away. And now she needs to go outside. So, do you want to go outside, Cal? And now let's get into my 2024 intentions Q2 version. And so, like I said at the beginning of this episode, I just loved my New Year's Eve episode so much. And so I wanted to circle back on my intentions and check in with myself, potentially recalculate some 2024 intentions as we get into Q2, April, May, June ahead of us. But first, let's just remind everyone the difference between an intention and a resolution, because that was kind of the whole purpose of the episode. In case you didn't listen to episode 15, I went with the term intention instead of resolution because I just don't like the word resolution. The definition of resolution is a firm decision to do or not to do something. And that is just so black and white and harsh. And if you mess up, if you don't complete a day of whatever it is, then you failed. You're literally setting yourself up for failure and then disappointment and all that. And then you're just like, oh yeah, well, guess my intentions or my resolutions for the year are done. Also, sorry, I literally cannot say the word resolution fast or intention. So just don't mind me. So we're going with intention because the definition of intention is a thing intended, an aim, or a plan. And so if you're always aiming for something, you are never going to fail. As long as you continue to try and you wake up every day, maybe you're not reaching 100% success. Maybe you're reaching 5%, maybe you're reaching 50, maybe you're reaching 78. It literally doesn't matter. But as long as you are intentional about what you're doing and what you're aiming for, what your overall plan is for the year, for the day, for the week, you're going to make progress and you're going to find success. So that's a little recap of why these are intentions. And so let's just kind of get into my goals that I set for myself this year. So number one, my obvious first intention was the health and wellness world. This includes working out, sleeping, proper food, water, and also I included skin. So let's just start with the obvious. I'm going to, the elephant in the room. I have not been working out and I feel like I haven't worked out properly in like a month. And that's okay. I'm not mad about it, to be very honest with you. Like I still feel good. I still feel strong. Could I feel stronger? Could I feel better? Could I feel more energized? Yes, yes, yes. Do I want to do all those things? Yes. Do I plan to do those things? Yes. But like right now, working out is just not something I don't want to say passionate about, but just that's not where my energy is right now. I have gotten home from work and I've gone on super long walks with Callie. Like tonight, I just went on like a 50-minute walk with Callie and it was perfect. I really enjoyed myself. It was such a nice break from my long work day before I get into my evening and do everything I need to do to get ready for tomorrow. Because like we all know, I mean, the sun's out longer, so I am very happy to be able to do this, but I just need to chill. Like my job, it's very stressful and requires a lot of energy and brain power. So just going on a walk is so relaxing for me. And that's kind of been my workout of choice. And I just need to be okay with that. All right, sleep. My goal was to get 8 hours of sleep every night. And I'm crushing it. I'm doing really good. I love sleep. Like I literally just said my treat for this episode is sleep. And I don't always get 8 hours of sleep. Like in Phoenix, we got like 4 or less, maybe not. I don't know. We didn't get much sleep. And you know what? It is what it is. I don't regret any of it. We had fun. We were just hanging out. But if I could sleep for 12 hours every night, I would. And I plan to eventually. All right, food. I think I'm doing good with my food. I'm making good choices. I feel my body properly. When I did my sustainable 60, which I guess I'd never really addressed any of that again. I started this fitness, health, food, whatever challenge for myself because I thought it was sustainable. But the irony of it all is that it just wasn't sustainable for me. So I just quit and that's okay. But the goal was to eat a lot of protein and I probably can up my protein again right now, but like I said, I'm just listening to my body. I'm trying things to better my skin like that. Like right now, my skin, my sleep, that's more important to me than having a really intense workout, eating a ton of protein and like eliminating sugar. Like I'm just like going with the flow at the moment and it's working. So we're going to continue with that. And when it stops working, we'll turn more attention to all of that and like whatever I need to do. Okay, water. I'm doing pretty good. I did laugh to myself because in this episode 15, I said something about wanting the bigger Stanley Cup. And I did get the bigger Stanley Cup. If you know, you know. I got the green one and I love it. I genuinely just drink so much more water when I have a straw in front of my face because I'm like typing on my computer and I'm like, ooh, I'm bored. It's literally like squirrel. But for me, it's like water. And I chug water out of my straw and I drink a lot of water. So I currently have my hydro flask and she's fine. I love her. She's pretty. She's yellow. She's beautiful, but I'm not excited to drink out of her. Sorry. Don't listen to me. Anyway. And all of this just ties to skin because I've mentioned 1,000 times in this episode already, I'm excited for my skin to just kind of get its glow back, chill on the acne. Like, come on, let's get this together. We're 25. It's time to snap into better skin. So which again, all of this, I think I just need to like lower my stress. Maybe I was working out too much. Maybe I wasn't sleeping enough because I was worried about X, Y, and Z. I was worried about my protein. Like, I don't know what it is, but I think whenever I'm just like relaxed and sleeping and lowering my cortisol, like everything just kind of feels more balanced and calm, which you'll see is something I'm adding to my Q2 intentions. Okay, moving on. My number 2 intention for the year was reading more instead of scrolling. I've done okay. As you all know, I love to read. I love books. I think I've like currently this week, I've done good not scrolling just because I've been so busy. But every night I've gone to bed and I'm like, oh, I'm excited to read. And I haven't read. I haven't. As you know, I've been reading by a thread for like the last like month. And I mean, it's okay. I'm not mad about it. But this is something I definitely want to put a little bit more attention to. But I also know like as it gets to warmer months and beach days, like literally this Saturday, I'm going to bring 2 books with me to the beach because that's what I do when I go to the beach is I sit out and I read. And I'm really excited about it. Another part of this was wanting to read educational books. Haven't done it. And I don't really care. I won't. I've never read educational books. I don't know why I ever thought I would. Maybe one day I will. But that's just like, it feels like work or school. And I don't know. If it's a life-changing book, let me know. I'll consider it. But until then, I don't care. Keep your educational books to yourself. Okay, number 3 was getting finances under control. If you listen to Rory's episode 27 that just came out, I haven't done that yet. Do I have a meeting with the financial advisor tomorrow? Yes. Is it my best friend's boyfriend? Yes. Does that matter? No. It's a step in the right direction. So guys, we're getting there. But another like subcategory of this was limiting my impulse spending or just like stopping my impulse spending because I addressed that it's okay to have wants. You don't need to buy everything you want just because you can. We're working on it. I mean, genuinely, I think I've done pretty good in terms of just like not having crazy spending this year, but it can always be better. And I do need to have a budget. Maybe I'm just hoping I'll feel really inspired after my meeting tomorrow with Reagan. So we'll report back there. And I do eventually want to have a female that's very knowledgeable about finances to just kind of like help us calm down and realize money's like not that scary. So that's the goal. I currently have not gotten my finances under control. And if you haven't, and I'm not going to say it's okay, but it's also like, we're okay. We'll be fine. Okay. Number 4, time. Being more intentional and focused with my time. This is always going to be at the top of my list. It literally doesn't matter how much I try. But I literally always say I don't have enough time in the week. And this week has been a really, really busy work week for me. And I'm entering my like crazy summer work time, which if you know me, you know is just like chaos. And all I'm going to do for the next 3 months is work. And I mean, I like my work. It's fine. But also it's like, Corey, I need to be focused when I'm at work, do work. When I leave work, don't think about work. Like I need to have that divide. And overall, when I'm working, I'm sitting at my computer. Like I need to focus, get rid of distractions, have a clean environment, do what needs to be done. Obviously easier said than done, especially when I work with like a bunch of people I'm actually friends with and we're all just chatting and goofing off and all that. But overall, like I just need to be intentional with my time so that I can balance my actual work, podcasting, and also just like taking care of myself, whether that's a workout, getting enough sleep, building in time to read or have a glass of tea before bed, whatever it is, I need to work on this. But I do think I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. I'm not totally upset with where I am right now. Ask me again in 3 months though, which Q3 intentions, we'll check back in. Future Corey, I hope you're doing okay. Okay, number 5, content. Again, this doesn't really apply to a lot of you guys that are listening, but just, this episode's about me. Sorry. So I told myself I wanted to post more, specifically reels on Corey in the Kitchen, and I fully have not done that. And again, I'm not mad about it. That is just like not something I currently have the time and bandwidth to handle. And also, I don't think it really fits my brand. I've kind of realized like Corey in the Kitchen is all about the stories and just posting like really random stuff and some aesthetic, some unaesthetic, just a mix, and just like telling you guys about my day, sharing everything. And I love it. And if I post a reel, great. If I post a actual feed post, great. I don't know. It just, I feel so authentic on there. And when I'm trying to like schedule stuff and post it, like, it doesn't feel like me. So I don't know. Maybe that'll change over the next 3 months. Maybe I'll get another bug of inspiration to like post more videos and stuff and all that. Like my friend Virginia, who has been on the podcast, when she was on the podcast a few months ago, like literally in January, I think she had like maybe 600, 700 followers. She now has close to 2,000 followers. Like she's literally blowing up. And I'm like, shoot, I want to do that. And she posts a reel every day and she's doing so good and her Instagram is so good. So that inspires me. But at the end of the day, I'm like, she's a college student. Like, I just have to put it in perspective for myself. Like, she's in college, she has more time, but also we all know we have the same 24 hours in every day. So maybe I'll do better, maybe I won't. End of the day, it is what it is. I am still very proud of myself for all the time I've put into the podcast. And if you don't follow Phone Eats First Pod on Instagram, check it out. I actually post on there every single day, and it is a really cute feed, and I'm really happy about it. And I love her. So follow her, please. And another pillar of this content that I talked about in January was handling the getting behind feeling, which I was talking about content in that moment, but it actually applies to like every aspect of life. Like, it could be the 12th intention of this episode. And this is also something I need to work on because it happens, and it's really happening to me right now, like in terms of content, at least. Like, I've been gone for 2 weeks, like I've said 1,000 times, and I haven't posted like hardly a single story or post about all the amazing food I ate or what I did. And I like still plan on it, but when am I going to do it? I don't know, Corey. When are you going to do it? Like, I literally just need to do it. I'm like, oh, well, I haven't done it yet. Maybe I'll never do it. And this, again, applies to finance, applies to working out, applies to planning your day to set yourself up for success. It doesn't really matter what it is, but we all just need to work on handling the getting behind feeling and realizing, like, look, this is just life. Like, just do what you need to do. If you do it late, it's okay, just as long as you did it. I also said I was going to monetize Corey in the Kitchen and Phone Eats First. We'll check back in on that one. Unfortunately, nothing yet. Okay, number 6 intention was all about relationships, romantic and friendships. We're going to no comment on the romantic relationships at the moment, but friendships have been so important to me over the last, like, honestly, few months. I have been able to put a lot more time into friendships, and not like I have been able to, I've always been able to, but I just have put a lot more time into friendships, and I've talked to some of my really close friends more than I have in like over the last year. And that is such a beautiful thing, to have such amazing friends in my life that I can go to at any moment, and we pick up like nothing ever happened. Like, we haven't seen each other in a year. Like, it literally doesn't matter. They have my back, I have theirs, and I can tell them anything. They can tell me anything, and they will just be a great friend. And it is just such, like, when you go through something, it is such an amazing reminder of how important the people in your life are, and knowing who has your back. And also when people, like, on the other end, when people are able to come to you and you are able to help them and inspire them and just help them feel better about whatever their situation is, it is such an amazing thing. And so I am so blessed and honored to have the best, amazing friends, people in my life ever, even people that aren't necessarily like my best friend, but I'm able to just have a relationship with. It's amazing. And so I just, to keep rambling about this, like, relationships have been a very crucial part of my life over Q1, like, literally. And so I want to continue to nourish the friendships and relationships that I have, as well as make new ones, meet new people, just be open, and also just like always remember to be kind to people and nice to people. You never know what anyone's going through. And also you never know who you're going to meet when you're going to meet them. So just like being open to whether it's just saying hi or becoming someone's best friend. Like, you never know what's going to happen. So just, we're all humans. We're all on this earth for the same reason, and just, we only have each other. So like, let's just be nice to each other. It's not that hard. So yeah. Okay. Moving on. Number 7 was all about food. And so I had a few things: more red meat, make sourdough, sell food, more protein, less sugar, and have a garden. So more red meat, check. We're doing that. We're doing good. I feel good. I eat red meat kind of all the time now. Making sourdough, big check. I love sourdough. Josephine is doing really good. She's in the fridge right now just because I've been gone, and we'll be gone again this weekend, and we'll be gone again next week, and she'll probably won't come out of the fridge till August, and you know what? Whatever. But I am successfully making sourdough, and I'm very impressed with myself, and it's really good. It's really fun. I love it. Selling food, we'll circle back there. I have had a few people reach out about granola. Sourdough, I feel like I just need to like throw on the streets and let someone try it and then buy it. But I do bet I could sell my chocolate sourdough because she's amazing. We'll see about that, but I do think it'd be really fun. Like, My ideal scenario would be to sell granola because that's the easiest to make. And also I feel like the most normal thing to sell of everything. I don't know. Garden, not going to happen this year. Sorry, Corey. Maybe next year. Might happen when I'm 30. I don't even know. Okay, number 8, planning activities. And this was something that I said I'm not necessarily bad at. Like, that's not why it's on my list. It's something that I feel like I'm good at and me and my friends are good at. But so it's just something that I wanted to have on my list because you don't want to only have things that are unachievable and difficult for you. You want to have things that like you're already kind of good at. Like, let's get better at it. Let's continue to be good at it. So for this, I was referring to me and my friends specifically just planning trips or even just like planning things in your own life that you're excited to do. Like, I love my calendar and I love putting things in the calendar. I love spontaneous trips. I love planned trips. I love everything. And I will say I'm doing really good. Like, I'm going to Austin in April with my besties, and we have a bunch of weddings coming up in May and in June. I have a lot of travel for work this summer. And then now it's like already like, okay, well, like, let me see what my fall schedule is looking like. I have concerts planned. It's just, I love having something to look forward to because that's just what life is about. Like, having things to do, trying new things, going new places, going on adventures. Like, you never know what's going to happen. Okay. Number 9, texting back. I have gotten better, I do think, but over the last month, I've been very bad, to be very honest. And most of the time it's just work people that I don't respond to. So if you work with me and I don't respond to you, please email me instead. Sorry. See me at sportspromotionsgroup.com. But yeah, I like literally this morning, because I knew I was going to record this episode, I literally thought about my text and I was like, maybe I should go through my text. And so I went from like 90 to 24, and I am literally patting myself on the back for that because I think that's pretty damn good. But again, I can be better. We can all be better. Like, texting back is not that hard. So like, I don't know why I don't just do it. Okay, number 10. This is one I completely forgot about. So I'm so glad I did this episode, literally just for this sole reason. Every time you say something negative about yourself, you have to follow up with something positive out loud. So the best example of this is just saying like, oh, I don't look good right now. I don't like how my hair, my eyes, I'm fat. I don't like my outfit. I look ugly. Like, whatever it is. Or it could be internal, like self-esteem, whatever it is. If you ever say something negative about yourself, you have to be like, hold on, pause, and then follow up with something positive. So me, Lake, and Casey did this in New York back in December. I don't even remember why, but I was like, oh, my skin's breaking out. Ugh, like this pimple, whatever it is. And they're like, Corey, say something positive. And so I was like, you know what? I really like my mascara right now. Like, I did really good on my mascara. Or like, my hair looks really good. And then you literally have like a boost of serotonin and you feel better. You're like, okay, now that one little thing doesn't feel as bad because look at all these things that are working right now, or like look good, or I feel good about, and you just feel good. So I encourage everyone to do that. And also like call your friends out, be like, hey, follow up with something positive. Cause then we would all just turn into like a compliment fest, and it was great. So definitely need to remember that one. Okay. Number 11 was, last but not least, romanticizing your life and finding inspiration inside and outside of the kitchen, obviously. And I will say, ever since I started this podcast and kind of just have like clung to the word romanticizing life and all that, everything it entails, life is just great. Like, life is just such a beautiful thing. And I know that sounds so silly and like so woo-woo, whatever, but it's true. Like, if you don't like something in your life, or you just like in general are like unhappy, or you feel lost, confused, you're like, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. This isn't where I'm supposed to be. I'm not enjoying every single day. And like, not every day is going to be a walk in the park, beautiful, sunshine, rainbow, magical unicorn day. Some days are just going to be like, oh, that was a stressful day. Oh, that was a rainy day. And I was like just chilling on the couch, and I don't feel good about that. You should feel good about it because we all need rest days. But I romanticize the shit out of everything I do. Genuinely. Like, I'm like, ooh, after work, I get to go on a walk, and then I'm going to record a podcast, and it's going to be so much fun. And like, that's such a cool thing that I get to do. Or when I'm outside at work and I'm going to have like a 14-hour work day, I'm like, oh, the sky is so pretty. Like, I just love the sky, and the sky is always there. The sky's always got your back. It might not always be blue or sunny or beautiful sunset. It might be gray and rainy, but it's also like just being appreciative of everything that is happening to you and happening around you and happening for you, which then this all sounds like manifestation, which like maybe it is, maybe it's prayer, whatever you want to call it. But if you just think of all the things in your day that are simple or mundane, like if you're walking to work and you get to stop and get a coffee, like that is so awesome. That is the most romantic thing you could ever do for yourself. Like just do everything you're doing, but also like do it for you. You're not romanticizing your life so that your friends think you're cool or so your partner likes you more. Like you are doing it so that you're like making yourself happier. It's a recipe for happiness by romanticizing every little thing that you do. All right, that was quite a tangent, but I guess not a tangent. It was very on topic. But yeah, those are my 11 things, my current thoughts on those 11 things. And I wanted to add a few new intentions, which are kind of a lot more of like a mental, internal related thing. Not that it matters because these are mine, so I can do whatever I want. But so something I am adding to my Q2 intentions is just being honest with myself about what I want, what I like, what I need. There are so many times in our lives, just because of so many different situations that we are in, where we are just forced to not necessarily go with the flow, because I think going with the flow is a good thing and a great skill to have, but you just kind of have to like put other people first so many times in your life, or you have to put your job first, you have to put your family first, you have to put your finances first, you have to just kind of like put away things that you don't necessarily want to put away because you have to focus on something else. So like, for example, this podcast is something I was honest with myself about. Wait, I really want to do this and I like doing this and I'm going to continue to make time for it, carve out time in my day, carve out time in my life, plan ahead, and just be excited about it. Like everything I talk about in Rory's last episode, like relationships, your career, where you live, finances, just be honest with yourself. What do you need to focus on right now? What are you putting too much attention to? What do you need to put more energy into? What can you do to get more energy in your day? And do those things. Maybe you're not going to do them all tomorrow. Maybe you're not all going to do them all even this year, but just figure out I can't emphasize enough. Like, yes, you can think about these things, but be brutally honest with yourself about what you want to do and write it down in your phone, write it down on a piece of paper. Maybe you don't write it down, but like write down what you want. And don't miss a beat. Like no one's going to see it. No one's going to read it. And if someone does, okay, whoops, sorry, whatever. But who cares, because it's the truth about what you want and what you want to do. So that's one. Something else that I'm adding, I guess this would be number 13, is being open to opportunity. And I talk about this with Rory, which as you can tell, Rory's episode really inspired me a lot in so many facets of life. But when I say opportunity, I mean anything. Like just being open and ready for a new career, a new move, just saying hi to a stranger on the street or whatever it is. Like if you are not open to opportunities, things aren't going to come your way, or they're going to come your way, but you're not going to be ready for them. So just thinking about those things that you want and having a positive mindset about the things going on in your life. Like if you're really stressed about like what you want to do with your life because you're having a midlife crisis, if you aren't open to opportunity, you're not going to realize when those opportunities are in your face. And if you're listening to this, you're like, what is Corey referring to? I'm genuinely not referring to anything. It's just so like, I don't know. I've never really thought about this much, just how like opportunities come your way, but if you're not ready for them, you're not going to accept them. You're not going to be open to them. So I'm talking in circles now. I'm going to stop. That's number 13. Okay. Number 14, not caring what other people think, to some extent, obviously. Like I know it's impossible to not care what other people think, but I've just been in situations recently where I'm like, well, if I do this, someone is going to have their feelings hurt, or they're going to feel left out, or they weren't invited, or whatever it is. And this all circles back to being honest with yourself. Like at the end of the day, if you're doing something that is good for you and you know is right, like you just have to follow through with certain things. Otherwise, you're going to never be honest with yourself, or you're not going to get to experience new opportunities if you're worried about, I don't know, leaving someone out. So just overall, like, yes, consider other people's feelings and the impact of what you're doing and what you're saying and all of that. But just you only have you. And if you are always afraid of what other people think, you're never going to move forward in life. Okay, number 15, short and sweet. I need to lift more weights. It's been a minute. I love lifting weights. I love feeling strong. I love getting toned. So I need to get back to that. And like, I've heard 3 days a week minimum. Like, I know I can do that. But again, it goes back to that thing of you feel behind because you missed one day, then you've missed 2 days, and now it's like day 3 and you're like, oh, I haven't lifted any weights yet this week, so maybe we'll just try again next week. I need to not do that. Okay, number 16, count your wins. And I've said this in so many episodes, but it is so true, and it kind of reminds me of number 10 about saying something positive after something negative is said. It's just kind of like flipping that negative mindset by always following up with thinking of the positives throughout your day. So like the best examples of this are hitting the green lights on the way to work, or you're having a good hair day, or you woke up on time, you got out of bed on your first alarm. Hey, it's 11 a.m. and you've already had your first glass of water. Whatever is considered a win to you, count them. Hold on to those wins. Otherwise, okay, Callie's getting a little crazy. I don't have much time left. But so like I said, we are counting our wins because it's so easy to look at your day and be like, oh, I didn't accomplish X, Y, and Z. But what did you accomplish? Did you accomplish something you've actually been putting off for a month? Like literally this week, I was getting frustrated at work and I was like, wait, I have like a personal to-do list as well as always as my like work to-do list because I love lists. And I'm like, wait, I just paid my taxes. Like that is something I've been putting off for forever. And like that is a huge win. So just a silly little example, but count your wins. And number 17. And this is something I need to probably tattoo on my forehead, but avoid stress. I am already, like I've said a few times, I'm already really stressed about the 3 months ahead of me for work. Like they're the most stressful months of my life, unfortunately. Not a good time to be stressed in the summer, but it is what it is. It's very worthwhile for me, but I just need to like calm down and I need to prioritize getting a workout in before work or after work so that when I get to work, I'm like, okay, well, I've already done that, win. I already lifted weights, win. But just trying to avoid stress and just remind myself that like, it's not that deep. It's not that serious. It's just a job, which clearly I'm talking about work, but there's always external stress factors as well. What are you going to do next month? What are you going to do next year? Like, where are you going to be in 5 years? Like, yeah, you could think about all that. I do not let myself get there, thankfully. But if you are someone that does that, it's good to plan. But at the end of the day, like, let's calm down day by day. Let's just take everything day by day. All right. Enough rambling for tonight. I need to eat dinner and Callie is barking at me to play. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I want to challenge you guys after listening to this to just think about, check in with yourself. What is something you told yourself you were going to do at the beginning of the year? Or even if you didn't do that, maybe you're not a New Year's resolution type of person, but let's make some Q2 intentions together. So I challenge everyone after this episode to think of like 1 to 5 to 30 things that you want to put your energy towards, whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's this week, whether it's this month, but generally just like the next 3 months. I feel like that's a very achievable time frame to be like, okay, be honest with yourself. What do you want to focus on for these next 3 months? Like, what do you hope when July comes around, you can look back and be like, oh wait, like I have been kind of working on that, or I have improved this, or I have eliminated something that you've been wanting to kind of dial down on. And I guess DM me. I'll post a question, I guess, on Instagram. I don't know how this is going to work, but I want to know, and then I'll share them at the beginning of the next episode that I record. So we're going to try and do a little engagement here because someone told me I need to be more engaging on the podcast. And so this is me attempting, but I was like, I would love to, but it requires an audience to engage. So if you listen to this, be a real one and engage by sharing something you're putting your energy towards in the next 3 months. But as always, thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday or whatever day you're listening to this. I hope you have a great day today. And I hope you just had a really enjoyable last 40 minutes where you just let me ramble into your head. Thank you for letting me do that. I love doing this and I will continue to do this. So yeah, I just hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead. Please leave a rating and a review on Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen. And follow along at Phone Eats First Pod on Instagram and Corey in the Kitchen on Instagram. We will talk soon. You are listening to Phone Eats First.